Oh boy. We have the Ace of Coins. This one's been coming up. It's almost as if everyone wants to begin something new. And I get it, you know, and I think that's been the kind of bonus. Let me just, all right. The kind of bonus, I think, of, you know, the retrogrades and everything else. We know what's not working. We know what's not working. We know who stabbed us in the back. We know all of that. So it's like, great, know all of that now. I want long-term security and stability now. And the thing is, with the Ace of Pentacles, we start to see what that's going to look like. We start to see the seed that we want to plant for that to grow into. But let's start off with the Ten of Swords, guys. Deception. Being stabbed in the back. This is something awful that happens to us, but it's the aftermath. I always say that. With the Ten of Swords, it's the aftermath of what's happened to us. We're dealing with what's happened. It might have happened whenever, right? But this is where we're getting ready now to pull the swords out of our back. Now, in this one, the swords aren't in his back, but they're still surrounding him. So that can be the thoughts, that can be the trust issues, that can be whatever you've picked up from the situation. So have a look at this guy. I always point this out in this deck. Do you see his hands? They look bound, right? He's holding them behind his back as if he's bound, but he isn't bound. They're hanging loose. They've been cut. He's free. But is he free? Swords are thoughts, are beliefs, are ideas. So it's almost like we're being plagued. This could be nightmares of what happened. You know, we're still being affected by that. Now, think about it this way, guys. It can be that someone said that they're supposed to see the lovers. I'll tell you why that's there. That's what this is about. That's what this is about. So, you know, sometimes it can be we've gone through a situation, like, I don't know, a bad breakup or something. Someone cheated on us or someone did something, or, you know, it just went wrong. Now, we might be out of that, 10 years out of that. We might be good on every single level, but then we've still got trust issues. Now, remember this. When we have trust issues that come up, they're not because of the other person or of who we might see, of what might happen. It's usually because of this. It's the memory of, well, hang on a second. Last time I got into this, I got left with 10 swords in my back. And that's always overkill. It's always overkill with the 10 of swords. But you're getting over it. That's the whole point of the 10 of swords. It's a new day. It's dawning. It's time to, you know, pull those swords out and get up and go again. This can be rock bottom. But you know what? We've got the perfect. I was going to call her a bitch, but in the most kind of respectful way, because I love the Queen of Swords. We have the Queen of Swords at the heart of this reading. This is what's happened for you guys. I don't know when this happened, when the actual situation that this is the aftermath from. It could have been last week, could have been last night, could have been 10 years ago, right? But it's almost as if now you figured out, or that's the point of this week, to figure out how it's left you. Because the Queen of Swords, she's not the Queen of Swords because she had a great life. She's the Queen of Swords because she's had the opposite. Every crappy thing that you can imagine has happened to her. The divorce queen, the widow queen, the heartbreak queen. She's gone through everything. She's gone through everything. But guess what? Out of that, she's learned. She now has knowledge out of every single experience. And she's not afraid. She's fierce. That's why she stands there with her sword. She's not afraid to say anything. Do you know what? I don't know. It's a weird example, but it comes to mind. You've ever been like in the post office or something, and there's always that old lady, and she doesn't care. She'll say anything. She'll walk up to you and say, oh, that you know, shouldn't be on your phone so much, love, or you shouldn't do this, you shouldn't do that. That she doesn't give a shit. The old lady's going to say whatever she wants because she's lived a hard life. She's survived her whole life. She's not afraid of who she is. And that's the whole point of the Queen of Swords. She's survived everything that life has thrown at her. So she's not afraid now. Damaged people are dangerous. They know they can survive. And she doesn't just plan to survive. She plans to thrive. And it's kind of that. For a lot of you, you're at the end of this understanding of whatever this was, who you've become out of that. What new truth you have out of this. She's authentic. That's the whole point of the Queen of Swords. She is authentic. But the thing is, there's a catch. Because she's so real, she expects you to be real with her. She wants the truth from you. That's why she has that sword there. That's her truth, and also what she will cut you down with if you bring crap to her. Now, let's talk about the Knight of Wands. Usually, I love the Knight of Wands, but that's the whole point of the tarot. You have to read the cards in the spread that they're coming up in. I kind of get the sense that you dealt with someone who was pretty unreliable. The Knight of Wands, he's the party, I call him the party all the time knight. You know, he's the good time knight. And usually I love that about him. I always say he's my spirit animal because he's all about, I'm enjoying myself in this situation, you know. But something went wrong here. Something's gone wrong here. Now, either you were like this. Either you were like this. You were fun. You were enthusiastic. You were the adventurer. You were the explorer. You went and tried something new, right? And it left you with 10 swords in your back. So now you're this fierce Queen of Swords. Or, and it doesn't have to be a fire sign, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, even though it's that energy. The signs don't own the cards. They just lend their characteristics. Remember that, guys, right? So with the Knight of Wands coming up here, this might have been someone else that was like that. That you put your faith in someone who ultimately let you down. But you're coming out of it stronger. You're coming out of it stronger. Now, there's another thing that, I mean, I gave you those different examples of how the energy plays out, but there's something like a bigger energy that's coming through this for me anyway, when I look at this. It's almost as if, think about these two. I think for some of you, you feel like that fun side of you's gone. When was the last time any of you went out and partied? And I don't mean like, you know, go to a nightclub or something. Hung out with your friends, enjoyed being around your friends. When was the last time you were carefree? You were passionate, you were creative? Or have you been trying to pull swords out of your back? Every time, even if you're in a room full of people, if you're trying to hang out with your friends and stuff, this is still hanging around you. And that's the kind of change that's coming in too. I kind of feel this is a big week for you, Aquarius. Why? Because for some of you, this is the week where you dare to love something, or you dare to admit to yourself that you love something. Because remember, the Queen of Swords, she's not there to just to be honest to other people. She's honest with herself. He can sometimes want distractions, you know, he wants fun. It's not fun to look at 10 swords. So this might be when we overcompensate, distract ourselves. I'm going to go backpacking. I'm going to go hang out with my friends. I'll go have a drink. I'll go do this. I'll be in the moment. But, you know, being in the moment is great when you've figured out what your past was. But that's happened. That's gone now. That is the past, right? So what do we have in the present? We have the Lovers. For some of you, this is about a relationship. And relationships can be any relationships, right? The whole thing with the Lovers, and I know people always say this, that it's a head or heart decision. No, it's the illusion of a decision because your heart's already picked. They're called the Lovers, not the thinkers, right? Because they know what they love. And you know what? It's really bizarre because I was reading up about this deck. It's Ciro Marchetti, and I was on his Instagram, and it was talking about how this is meant to be a scene like Romeo and Juliet, which I don't really like that story. But, you know, they're doomed lovers. So, you know, it's kind of that sense. Do you feel like that? That what I love, I'm doomed. But think about it. If you love something, if your heart wants something, whatever it is that your heart wants, if you've gone through this, how are you going to trust it? Because you felt like that once before. You've loved jobs before. You've loved people before. You've had romantic relationships before, whatever it is. You've loved it before. But it left you with 10 swords in your back. Keep coming back to this. So with the Lovers coming up here, that's the good news. The good news is that we have something that we love here. About being truth, honest about it, going forward, communicating, this is what I want, this is what it's getting your head on board. Now, that's the trouble with the Queen of Swords. As much as she's great, and, you know, she's amazing in her truth and her authenticity and how she goes forward and speaks her own truth. What is that truth? What is the truth? How have you become after whatever happened here? Because some of you have lost your fun. It's very serious energy that's coming through. Very serious energy. Not loving, even though the Lovers is here. For some of you, I think you're desperate to find something to love or someone to love. For others of you, you know what you love, but you're kind of talking yourself out of it. She's not the most emotional person. She will stick to logic. What is right here? How do we communicate? Let's talk about this. Let's figure it out. But love's not logical. Your heart's not logical. So I kind of get the sense, it's not really coming up in a lot of other ways. I'm going to get one actually for this, because the lover sticks out like a sore thumb here, right? It's like, hey, I'm stabbed in the back. Hey, I'm speaking my truth. There's swords all over the place. Let's go partying, death coming in. This is pretty cool. But, with the lovers coming, for some of you, it's connected to an earth sign. So we've got Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn coming up. We've got the Nine of Cups. This is your heart's desire. It's almost the sense of this is someone who's too afraid even to like have a wish. It's like now you're wishing for something. And for some of you, you find what it is that you're wishing for as in you can identify it. Because the Nine of Cups, sorry, I'm not even showing it. The Nine of Cups is all about, your heart's desire, your wish. What do I want? What's going to make me happy? Some of you, it's a relationship, but you know what you love. So what is stopping you? It's your head on board. Now, the Queen of Pentacles, that I kind of get this. It's all well and good being authentic and having your truth. But the Queen of Pentacles, if she sees the value in something, she's going to make it work. She's going to make it work. And that's kind of what's coming in. It's almost like if you love something, if you have a wish, you can make it work. You don't have to trust what it is that you love. You don't have to trust anything else. You need to trust yourself. Two very powerful queens coming in here. One who's completely authentic, the other one who she creates, it's all about stability and security. She's very focused on that. And I kind of get the sense here. Some of you haven't felt safe for a while. It's almost like that safety coming in. How does that happen? We have death. And I don't know if how many Aquarians are going to like to hear this, but it's you. It's sitting underneath the Queen of Swords. Death is sitting underneath the Queen of Swords. The transformation is within you. We have 3 court cards that come up here, right? And even if they're other people, think about it. If you're the Queen of Swords, your king is going to be the King of Swords. Or if you're the King of Swords, your queen or your other king is going to be the King of Swords. That's the matching elements. We have things about them that match with us. Or say, I don't know, say I was with a Capricorn or a Taurus or something. I might come up as the Queen of Pentacles because I'm the matching person to that energy. So look at it that way. That is still a part of who you are. When we connect with people, our energies do change. They affect us. That's why we're with them. So with death coming up, it's almost like you are transformed. Some of you might have felt like you've had to go forward fighting with your truth. This is who I am, to fight and say, this is me. This is my truth. But it's almost as if by doing that, you can turn it into something that's long-term stability and security. Now, the other thing that I'm getting here is, it's kind of strange, guys, but totally on a different note. And that's how I mean the energies can play out differently. If there's any of you that make videos or writing a book or a blog or whatever it is that you do, have a look at this. First, you might have done it for fun, right? Not even fun, but, a way to kind of, like I said, distract yourself from whatever pain happened, whatever you've been through, right? Whatever that painful thing is that you've been through. Then you found yourself, you found your voice, and you started speaking your truth. Now, we have the Queen of Coins, the Queen of Pentacles. And this is about now, you might be turning something that started off as an experience for your painful experience into a money-making venture. But it changes you. Take it from me. I worked with chronic illness people for a very long time. And when I first started doing it, it was difficult because I didn't want to go back to that place to think about something painful that happened. But it changed me, helped me to find my voice, helped me to find who I was, and to heal me, to help me through the process. That helps you. That helps you. That transforms everything. Death is change. That transformation that you want, that new day that dawns, the rebirth, it happens through this. But you must let go of those 10 swords. You must let go of those 10 swords. Ace of Pentacles coming up as your advice. Plant the seed, guys. Plant the seed. Go on to something new. I see this card like the sun. And the thing with the sun is that, it's where we begin something new. It's creation. That's what this is. This is tangible. This is real. This is something that you can see, feel, and touch. It's your security, your stability. because you haven't felt safe. That's what I'm saying. A lot of you haven't felt stable or safe. Maybe you've been bouncing around trying different things, right? Here, you know what seed you want to plant with the Ace of Pentacles coming up. But it's always us. I would say that with the aces. And it's your advice. It's asking you, Aquarius, out of all of this, you know, some of you might see it as a shit show. Some of you might say, this is my legacy. Look at what I survived. You know, wear it as a badge of, like with pride. It's a badge of honor. Some of you feel that way. But whatever it is, it's about turning it now into your long-term security, stability. Now, for some of you, it's daring to be in a relationship after a very long time, after this hit the show. But you know, that's only going to apply to you if you kind of know, if you're ready to start dating, or if you have someone in mind. This is not really dating. This is love. This is what we love. It's Two of Cups. It's a connection there. You know, we love this thing. Are we going to go for it? And then we have someone saying that the Queen of Swords, she lost her innocence. She did. She did lose her innocence. That's exactly what happened to her. There's no surprises for her now. And she's prepared to take everything on. Her own truth. Her own truth. There's nothing to say she can't be jaded. There's nothing to say that, you know, her truth is that I'm never going to be in a relationship again because they always turn to shit. And she'll be forthright and come forward and say that. So it's about knowing what your truth is. But that could be changing for some people with the Lovers here, because something is coming to change that. Death wouldn't be here. If this was not about changing, you know, within you, if this was not about changing who you were, it wouldn't come up. Steve, bless you, honey. Thank you.